Well, this is something you never thought I'd see here in Portland. BLM Antifa writer sentenced for firebombing attack on Portland police. This is actually surprising that this happened. An Indiana man was sentenced to 10 years in federal prison on Tuesday for attempting to kill Portland police officers with homemade explosive devices during the violent riots of 2020. Malik Fard Mohammed, um, 25, was sentenced to prison for repeatedly and intentionally jeopardizing the lives of Portland police officers, destroying public property, and encouraging others to commit violence during protests that occurred in Portland in 2020, according to the Department of Justice. According to the court documents, Mohammed was charged with possession of unregistered destructive device, engaging in civil disorder, and obstructing law enforcement, and using explosives to commit federal felony. He pleaded guilty to 14 federal charges in March. Yeah. And Andy, no, he's followed like Antifa. So yeah, if you're on Twitter, follow him there. You can get him on Telegram. But yeah, Mohammed will also be under 3 years of supervised release following the 10-year sentence in federal prison. Scott Eric Asfaj, a U.S. attorney for the District of Oregon, praised the sentencing and said that holding Mohammed accountable is imperative to their ongoing effort to support the rights of all Oregonians. And the fucker's not even from Oregon. FBI Portland Special Agent in charge, Kyrene Ramsey, said Malik Fraud intentionally planned and committed acts of violence that threatened other protesters, members of the public, and law enforcement officers. This type of violence has no place in our community, but, it did go on. The FBI is really? Why didn't you stop the violence to begin with? The FBI is committed to apprehending and charging violent instigators who plan, promote, and commit acts of violence and destruction. We will continue to work with our law enforcement partners to protect the peaceful expression of free speech throughout Oregon, Ramsey said. ATF Seattle Field Division Special Agent in Charge Jonathan T. McPherson said, "The right to protest peacefully is absolute. Of course it is. But it is clear Mohammed didn't come to exercise his right. He came from out of state to bring violence to our community. This sentence should send a clear message to those who want to engage in violence that it will not be tolerated, and ATF will investigate these acts whenever they occur," McPherson remarked. Portland Police Chief Chuck Lowell expressed gratitude that Mohammed will remain behind bars and that none of his officers were killed by his heinous attacks. The risks of a law enforcement officer or community member being seriously hurt or killed by the actions of this individual was very real, Chief Chuck Lowell said. "I am gratified to know that he is being held accountable for the danger his criminal actions caused. I want to extend my sincere thanks to the investigators, prosecutors whose diligent, meticulous work made this sentence possible, as well as the members of the PBP and other agencies who put themselves at risk to protect our city against violence and destruction during this period of time." According to court documents, on September the 5th, 2020, during a large civil disturbance in East Portland, Demonstrators threw dangerous objects at police, including commercial-grade fireworks, Molotov cocktails, and bottles. Muhammad later pled guilty in Multnomah County Circuit Court to seriously burning a demonstrator by throwing a Molotov cocktail and providing baseball bats to members of the crowd. On September the 21st, 2020, during a large demonstration near the Manhattan County Sheriff's Office, Palumbo Kelly building, law enforcement observed an individual light on fire and throw an object towards the building. One officer observed the burning object flying through the air towards the vehicle, landing approximately 15 feet from a police officer sound truck. Officers recovered the unexploded device. It consisted of a yellow glass growler with a Goodwill sticker on the bottom, a cloth wick, and an flammable liquid. It was later determined that the growler was one of the items purchased at a Goodwill by Muhammad and his girlfriend. A DNA analysis also linked the growler to Muhammad. How stupid you are. Use a thing you bought in... Oh my god, how stupid this guy was. On September 23rd, 2020, protesters set fire and broke windows at the Multnomah County Justice Center. When officers advanced towards the crowd, an individual threw a Molotov cocktail in a large yellow growler that landed in front of the officers, shattered and exploded into a large fireball. While some officers were able to move out of the way, one officer's leg caught fire. Several video obtained by law enforcement show Muhammad throwing the explosive device. On October 11, 2020, police were monitoring a protest involving approximately 250 people in downtown Portland. Members of the group began heavily vandalizing various buildings and parks, including the Oregon Historical Society, Portland State University, a Starbucks, I don't care about Starbucks, coffee shop, and a Bank of America branch, among others. Law enforcement observed Muhammad in the crowd, dressed in black. Portland police officers reported observing Muhammad using a metal baton to smash the windows of several buildings and arrested him after a short chase. Muhammad possessed a loaded handgun magazine in his pocket. A loaded handgun matching the magazine found on Muhammad's person was found discarded near the location of his arrest. On May the 28th, 2011, Muhammad was charged with criminal complaint with possession of unregistered destructive devices, engaging in civil disorder, and obstructing law enforcement, and using explosive device to commit a felony. Later, on June the 15th, 2021, a federal grand jury in Portland indicted Muhammad on the same charges. On May 28, 2022, he pled guilty to 2 counts, possess an unregistered destructive device. Muhammad will serve his sentence in Oregon State Prison. Good luck. Yeah, that's not a place you want to go. No, trust me, Oregon Prison is not a place you want to go. Good luck, piece of shit. Enjoy your hell. This is Gilgamesh. I'm surprised this even happened. I live here in Portland, so fuck this piece of shit, and good that he's going to prison. Enjoy our state prison. It's not pleasant to go to. Talk to you later. Bye.